of the ways this should look at an image level and the font colors and the buttons. And then I've just come in and worked out all of the content for my homepage. I'm going to have a homepage that has all of the links to all of my articles on the front page. And I'm going to make those other articles as pages. So I'm just using the resources that are in WordPress. I'm not using the posts, which is a very time-specific type of thing. I'm just using articles that are in pages. So I start with Women Travel On, and I've got a button there that's called Virtual Travel Spaces. When I'm writing this or creating this, the first thing I do is figure out the button, and then you'll see that I've got all of those boxes. The third one in looks like a little half circle and another half circle. It's their icon for a link. So if you click on that one, you can see that I have edited it out. There is usually on them as a given a hashtag mark. And you have to take out that hashtag mark and put in an actual address. So when I was working on this, all I did was go and create that page so that I could give this link right now. So if you look at the top of my screen, you'll see that I have several windows open. And on the top right is one called Pages that I started out with this. And I just started by making one called Virtual Travel. To make this page, I just went online to the place where you can change the layout and looked at the different types of layouts that were there and thought that one will work for what I want to do. And so when I came into this space, I had it ready and I could just say that's going to be good to go. I saved this even though I didn't have all the content in, or even any of the content really. I just got the title, and then if you look over on the right, you'll see something called permalink, and then you'll see something like view page. And on my iPad, I can just click on that and it'll allow me to copy that link. You need to be able to get that whole link and then copy it, bring it over to the page you're working on, and paste it into this area where there's a box. And then it'll say, you gotta hit enter for this to work. And you really do have to hit enter. I know from the hard way of trying it without doing that. So you just hit your return button, and then it'll be done. And then there's this option that's gray that says open a new tab, and you just switch that over because that'll allow someone to have multiple tabs and read without having to go back through the back buttons. So I start with that. I move to my next one. I do the same thing. I put in the content I want there. I put in the button to another page, and then I can set up that page as well. I go to the next part of mine, which is gear advice and reviews. And really, I just looked through and thought, well, what do I want my reader to see first, second, third, fourth, fifth about from my stuff that I want to write. So these are instruction sets with advice, with reviews. They're sort of informational and instructional. They're a genre that I find myself writing when I'm trying to explain something and then say, here's the ones you want to choose. So for each of these, I have a read further. So I have a link on them that allows me to say, okay, so, here's how you can say more about this. I don't have it as a button because I couldn't figure out how to make that be small. So I have this framing like this. I want all of these to be pages that look the same. So I went in and made one called Saddle Advice. And I just, again, went and looked at templates and chose a template that I thought I could live with, and then named it Saddle Advice at the top, and then saved it. So I just made it published. And then once you've done that, it'll give you a link, and that's what you want. So in this case, my permalink is going to be this particular address. So I just want to copy that and then put it over into my page so that I can have that seen. And my WordPress now is being goofy. So I'm going to jump out of this and come back in to my home page and try again. So now I've got this one, and then I want to do a shorts one. So there's a really nice and easy way to do this. I've got a template that's going to work for me. If I have Saddle Advice and I click on, you can see where Saddle Advice is. If I click over on the right on the three dots, I can see an opportunity to copy the page. I'm just going to copy that page to show you. It will show up with that same title, and so I can say something like, I'm just going to say example advice so you can see it. And as soon as I do that, I can then say publish. Up in the top right hand corner, there's a blue button, and I click on that, and it says, are you really ready to publish? And I say, yes, I am. And then it will publish that, and if I go back to my pages, I now have example advice up at the top. So I can very quickly, as you can see from the pages that are there, build those pages out so that later I can come in and fill them with the content they need. And I've got my link set up, and I don't have to sort of say, okay, what was that link, and go back and forth between these pages later. So that's the idea of setting up the home page as the way you want to do it. And you can see, once I've done that and set it all up, that I've got gear advice, and then I've got the 2 overviews of leading apps, and I've got things to fix on that, of course, that I can see as I'm editing it, but it gives you the idea. I've got a literacy story here, why I chose bicycling and training on a stationary bike, and that's really my sort of coming to understand how stationary bikes can help me do a longer ride. And then I have advice on finding your way on the Peloton app, which would be another instruction set. And then I have research on the focus that I have on one of these workout leaders, that I'm going to create this sort of look and see if I can't then link all of this to an academic article. So I'm not sure this is working yet, but that's sort of something I'm playing out. And then I've got finally an about the site, and so that links to the about the author framing, which is of course not built yet. So I've just built out the front page, but it gives me an idea what everything's going to look like, and I think I like it. And I don't have to do much more than that.